Okay, hi everyone. So we just finished importing the couples, and now we're going to show how to import any other data that's missing. So it might happen that you imported some data and then you realize that you didn't get everything. There's other things you want to import as well. Or maybe you're coming from another type of database and you want to import your data. And usually when you export your data from a database, it'll come in different sheets. Rather than have one long sheet with all the information, you'll have maybe a sheet of the contact information, a sheet of the phone numbers, a sheet for the addresses, and then you have to import them individually. So here we have this case specifically where the addresses were not part of the individual's sheet, they were separated. So we're going to export these addresses and import them for the contacts. So I'll hit download, and I'm downloading it as a CSV as usual, and I'm going to go ahead and import those. So I'm hitting import contact, and let's see, I'm looking for addresses. Perfect. First row is the column header. These are, I'm importing for individuals, and I don't have to worry about duplicate because I'm not really checking for duplicates, since we are going to match with the external ID. We have the contact ID here. If I didn't have the ID, I could still use duplicate matching. Email is often a very good one. Other ones are hard. You see, like in the case, if you want to match by address, these four people have basically the same address, which is a problem. Let's say they might have a little apartment number that's different, or maybe they live together but they're different people, and they would match them together if you would match by address. So email is a good one. The best of all is to have an identification number. If not, email is the better one. If not, you would use maybe first name, last name, and address to have more criteria, and that would allow you to match these addresses that you're importing with the existing contact in the CRM. But again, we don't have to worry about it because we have the ID. So we're going to call it fill because we're going to fill in the address. We don't have to worry about a rule, like we said. Date format we don't have to worry about because there are no dates. And now that we have addresses, this is actually going to be relevant. And checking this, what it's going to do is going to give a longitude and latitude to the addresses I'm importing. And this is fine for smaller imports if you're going to do it. But if you're going to do more than a 200, 300, or I would say about that. If you're going to do more than 200 or 300 addresses, I would avoid doing this in here. You could do it after the import. It would be much more efficient. So I check this off. I'm going to click continue. While this loads, I'll mention the reason that latitude and longitude is important is because it's going to allow you to put your contacts on a map and display your contacts on a map, and also do what's called a proximity search, to search for who lives within a distance of a specific location that you determine. So here I am, I'm going to import this. This is going to be the external identifier. We have the address, which is street address. We're going to call it, this is a home address. It could be something else, but this one's a home. City and state. Let's do state, postal code and country. Whoops. Here we go. So that's it. This is pretty much all you have to do for this one. You could save this as the address mapping field and hit continue. Okay, there seems to be an error. Let's look what the error is before running the import. Always a good idea to check the errors. It's complaining about the value for state and province, and that is correct. There's a problem. I called these states India instead of Indiana. So I'm going to go back to my sheet and look for my mistake. Here we go. So this I wanted to call Indiana. No, I still made a mistake. So let's do this again. I'll download it as a CSV. Contact, import contact. So I'm going to select this one. This is where the one is. This is the updated version. We have headers. We're going to put fill. Again, check off geocoding. And we're going to load, this time we're actually going to load the saved field mapping because we could use it. So we're going to load addresses. And because I saved it before, now I don't have to go ahead and match these things. It's already done for me. So I'm going to hit continue. And now everything is nice and clean. And I'm going to actually create a tag called has address. I'm going to hit import. So now it's going to upload these addresses, match them up to the existing contact, and it'll also create a longitude and latitude for each of these addresses, and it's going to apply the new tag that we created called has address. Okay, the migration is done. All 181 records have been updated. I can search for the people I've just imported by going to find contacts, and I'm going to select the tag has address, and it shows me everybody who has an address over here. Uh-oh. Okay, so there's 172 results. So you'll notice it's interesting, there's a bunch of results with no name. And the reason is, what happened here is that we imported the addresses with IDs to match it to existing contacts. But the system did not find IDs. It did not find IDs that matched the ones we imported. Meaning these contacts, these addresses did not exist. The contacts who own these addresses did not exist in our system. So the system created them. It created contacts without any name with the address. So just to know, if you see this error, you could either delete these contacts and their address because you didn't import the contacts, or you could try to find the contacts and import them. And again, it's going to match up if you have the correct external ID. So I'm going down, I'm going to look at one of the contacts that got imported, Maria Adams. And I see the external IDs here, 163. I have the tags that she's part of, and I see that she indeed has an address. So the import was indeed successful. And now we completed the import for couples and addresses. Next video will show how to import contributions.